We're doing a giveaway. It's not just another regular old BS giveaway, but it's a way to raise awareness to the Wild Sheep Society's Act Now campaign. We're giving away a Kafaru pack, a Whoopee, a Frontiersman gear knife, a full set of Sitka Storm front gear. Hell, we're even going to throw in some shirts and a hat from our store. The whole goal is to get people to be aware of the Act Now campaign and really send the message that our community wants wildlife to be managed by science, not by whoever celebrity is yelling the loudest. To sign up, get over to our Instagram at Wilderness Locals and look for the photo of the sheep with the Act Now giveaway graphic. Get on it, folks. Let's make a difference. This is episode 50 of the Wilderness Locals podcast. On this episode, we have two of the best dudes I know, Jeff Agostinho and Grizzzzly. These two are responsible for organizing the upcoming goat counts in the Chilliwack Valley on June 26th and 27th. We go over what you guys need to know and what the whole goal is. This podcast is brought to you by Kafaru International, Frontiersman Gear, and as always, it's brought to you by Just Shooting Arrows.
Just click a button and things are flying.
Yeah, man. That's how it works. Are you guys excited for the weekend?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I can't believe it's already here.
It's been a long time coming, right? I think you guys first started working on it in like February or something, right?
I think January for sure.
It was pretty comical because I think we're talking about it in January, and even before that, kind of just where the idea was floating, and then all of a sudden, like, it's June.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I can't believe this year. I mean, I was just yesterday when I was driving home from the city, I was on the phone with Wasey, and he's like, "Man, we leave for our goat hunt in like 40 days or something." Like,
that's so crazy, man.
It's nuts, or even less. I mean, for guys leaving August 1st, like we're right there.
Yeah.
It's like,
I had to pull the pin.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got so much other stuff going on right now that I need to get dealt with before hunting. I gotta put hunting on the back burner a little bit. Yeah.
That's okay. You still seem to have time to organize a goat count. So kind of what we want to do on here is kind of get some information out about the goat hunt, what the goat hunt is, why we're doing a goat hunt, and then maybe get into some goat identification stuff, right?
Yeah, are we hunting goats this weekend, Ty?
Oh no! Count. No, nobody bring a gun. It's the first point.
No.
Hey, it's early, man.
Yeah, I feel you, brother. Yeah, so I mean, this is going to be the first of its kind up here. I know a lot of people who follow RMGA have seen that they've done surveys down in the lower 48 quite a bit. So we're bringing it up to BC here for the first time. We're in the Chilliwack River area, Chilliwack Lake Valley, and then coming in from the Skagit Valley because it's all one unit.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got I think about 45-ish guys coming out. I think between 40 and 45. 19 different spots we've marked out for the weekend to count some of the goats that are in there. I mean, like we've talked about before on other podcasts and stuff, but it was a huntable population up until probably about 30-ish years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer. The numbers have been in decline. They don't know exactly why. Part of this is maybe helping to figure out why that is. I know talking with a couple of guys in the biologist again, we're actually going to be talking. I'm going to be sending out an email just yesterday. They asked if one of the things we could have people pay attention to is how much recreation they notice within the individual areas that they're in, and what it looks like, to see if that could be some possible effect on goats in the population.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, I'm not sure there's a more recreational heavy area in the Lower Mainland. I mean, I think all of us have grown up recreating out there, right? In that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say something like even if you just picture it in old, right? Like this is probably between this and Squamish Whistler, like it's pretty hand in hand. That lower mainland gets a lot of foot traffic, not even foot traffic, just you can imagine people camping down below, how much racket that makes and things like that too, right?
Yeah.
Like some areas, as you hike up into, you'll even hear people like still talking, even though they're like way down below, and you're like, holy smokes, this guy just over the ridge. I even found that just going into one of the areas just a couple of weeks ago. I was like, man, it sounds like guys are right over the ridge. Mm-hmm. I'm looking over for guys and I can't even hear them. So you can imagine how loud it can get with all the traffic or dirt bikes, you name it, right? So
yeah, I mean, if you do some quick Google searches on some of those peaks and some of those trails and stuff, generally the first thing that comes up is dirt bike, trail reports. And these guys are like, they're up there, man. Like, it's pretty astounding some of the places guys get on those things. Right. I mean, I grew up doing that too. So it's not any of their faults, but I think it'll be interesting to see, especially on a weekend that's supposed to be 40 degrees. Guys will be out there recreating, and be interesting to see, where the goats are and how far they are from dudes on their KTMs doing wheelies.
Absolutely.
Is it 40 to 36, 40? Oh boy.
That's wild.
Yeah. It'll be really interesting to also find, like, I'm sure there's going to be guys up that are going to be in great vantage points looking at spots, and they're not going to see any goats, right? Mm-hmm. So find out also why, especially if you're seeing them on, further down that mountain range. We got guys going in all sorts of, I think we got almost all the peaks covered, like whether a guy will be able to be glassing one of those peaks. And it might be only from one side, but for the most part, we got it covered pretty well. So it'll be pretty interesting to see like where guys are spotting goats, where they're not spotting goats.
Yeah.
And then be able to have and it's all on a Saturday for the most part. So there's not much crossover, which is quite nice.
Yeah, Sunday morning.
And Sunday morning. Yeah. But I know some guys only can do if they can only do the Saturday, at least we have eyes on for Saturday, where you get everyone's looking at the same time. Everybody's counting goats or not counting goats. And that puts a pretty, healthy stamp on saying like the legitimacy of population in those different mountain ranges. So it's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. It's cool too, how you guys have paired up people with, I think you guys have probably paired up quite experienced people with maybe some less experienced people, and people will be sharing some knowledge back and forth.
Yeah. And I think even on the Friday night, I've told everyone, I know Grizz has told everyone too, like they're more than welcome to come join. We're going to camp that Friday night and just have some good conversations and talk about stuff and go over all of it again too. Just in person is always going to be nice. I mean, especially I think at the end of what I hope is the end of this pandemic, just to have some face-to-face time, I think is going to be pretty valuable with a bunch of dudes. For sure. So, dudes heading out in the field, what what mechanism are we using to keep track of stuff? Are they just going to take some notes, Billy, Nanny, Kid, or? No, so we're not even going Billy, Nanny, Kid. We're actually just going to go mature and juvenile. Talk to the biologist about it. They said that's as far as we need to go with details on that. Awesome. We have a form that has been sent out as well for filling out. It's pretty straightforward. It's just, time of day you saw the goats, the location you saw them, mature, juvenile, any patterns or anything that you noticed particularly about the goats, and then any further notes that you wanted to add. And then I'm going to send out, they just redid the form yesterday, so I got to resend it out to everyone before tomorrow, just to add in for, like I was saying, the notable recreation too. Cool. That's very cool. I sure noticed too, since, we've kind of all been talking about this inside the BC sphere of dudes that get after it.
a lot of people sure have been making a point of looking up when they're in those mountains. They're maybe looking for bears or looking for blacktail. People are starting to pay more attention. Hey, Grizz.
Oh, big time, man. It's great. It's awesome. I think like they should have the due attention. Like, I think that there's way more. There's so many goats out there. They're just out of the lower mainland, and people are like, what? You saw that there? You know, so now I've actually got quite a few messages saying like, hey, I'm going up here. Is there a possibility for seeing goats? I'm like, yeah, I've seen one, maybe two, like one couple valley over. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. And it's hilarious because they stick out like sore thumbs. So I'm surprised people haven't noticed them sooner.
I know. I remember a few months back, you and I were messaging, and you sent me some good videos of goats that you found. And I sent him to one of the old boys here in Chilliwack that I know that's a old school hunter, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I hunted them one time." And yeah, I got some goat stories from him about the Chilliwack Valley. So
that's wicked.
It's so cool.
There's not many of those.
No. I mean, what did you say, Jeff? It was 30 years ago, the last time there was a season in there?
Yeah, 86, 88, so 35 years ago, possibly.
Yeah, older than me.
Very, yeah, older than me, too.
Yeah, it leaves me out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is there anything we need to tell folks to remember this weekend?
Bring lots of water.
Yeah.
Stay out of Tyler's deer spots.
Oh, sending everyone there. That's been one of the pins that I've sent to everyone.
I know. It's like going to be on fire. I can't wait to see all you guys on my cameras.
Yeah, guys are going to be stashing camping gear in there, dude. Sorry.
I know, right? Like I think we might be putting people into some country that they would not otherwise be turned on to, and they're like, "Wow, this is great! I'm coming here in the fall."
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's actually, you know what? That's like part of the thing. I know people get real like turned off by it, but it's one of those things. It's like, hey man, this is good to be able to even bring. I know most of the guys that are doing the count are probably a little more hardcore about hunting, or have been for a lot of years, get a little more passionate about conservation, stuff like that. So it's good that like we're having pretty experienced people, but not all are experienced. We're definitely getting people that are newer or really hunted goats, but still, it's still coming from a factor of like, hey, this is a zone that is actually accessible for a day hunt to be able to. It's an absolute ripper. It'll like, it's, they're pretty steep mountains and stuff, but to be able to bring someone into for a day or something, to be able to see a goat, even though we don't have a actual season open or something like that, opens up. I don't know, like it gets me right fired up every time I get to see them, so because they're just one of those beasts that you can't believe they literally live up in the top of the mountain year round. All that kind of stuff is crazy as shit. So, it's pretty wicked to see such a wild animal and be able to put someone who's new on that. Seeing those first goats, it's mind blowing. Never mind even just taking one out, or a deer, a first deer or a first bear. Like to see a goat is just crazy, right? Looks like a Sasquatch to someone that doesn't even know about him. And it's like the abominable snowman in a sense. So
they're the coolest. They really are. I mean, when I'm back there with my eldest daughter, we're like, we come home and my wife might be choked. We're late for dinner or whatever. And my eldest daughter just be screaming, "We saw a goat!" It's like, they're the coolest. They're the coolest, right?
Oh, totally. And they're huge.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, getting into the back there. It's easy accessible to a certain degree, but it's an absolute ass kicker if you're going up into these random spots. So I think one of the things like I would think that like I would say for people to take into the weekend account with them to these 40 guys would be like, be prepared that you are going to come across other recreationalists, and how you portray yourself as a conservationist or a hunter is going to mean a lot, which means like, don't ignore them. Don't, get mad or something. It's something to be able to have a good conversation about. Mm-hmm. That's probably the best way. I think that could be something random, like to be able to tell a guy, hey, don't forget your sleeping bag, or don't forget water, or things like that. That seems pretty like standard stuff, but like don't be surprised if you come across a couple hikers or someone, if you have to take a logging road in, coming across other guys on dirt bikes or something, be prepared to have a good conversation. That's probably what I would be saying. And have your wits about you.
For sure.
I think that's a great point. And I think that's always something that we should remember as hunters, right? That kind of, when we run into non-hunting people, we're sort of representing all of our brothers, all of our peers, it's like, it's sort of the last interaction somebody has with a hunter that sort of paints the image of all hunters for them from the point going forward,
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's a good point, I think. What else? So you guys aren't having them get into identifying gender at all?
No, the original plan was to, but the biologists just said that as far as they want us to go is just mature and juvenile. So
cool. I'm sure folks could probably use this as an opportunity to practice it a bit.
Absolutely. I think it's more information, the better in a sense. But yeah, if that's all the biologist is needing, like that's kind of a break for everyone that's going to be up the mountain spotting, especially if you're looking, because some of these areas you're getting into, you're looking across to like multiple different peaks, different lengths away, different kilometers away and whatnot. So to be able to distinguish a nanny from a billy, or it's going to be a little easier to see that's a small goat, that's a big goat. So hopefully that makes it a little easier on us as the surveyors.
Yeah.
I mean, if guys want to, if they do distinguish a goat as a billy and stuff, I mean, they can definitely put that in there. That'll be up to the biologist on how they take that in or how they want to classify that. So we'll leave that up. They're the professionals. Yeah,
I mean, the accuracy of identifying goats, I think, could probably be pretty sketchy too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So for guys that want to play that game, the Billy Nanny game, what are some things that they could look for? I mean, I generally always point everybody to that video on Rocky Mountain Goat Alliance's website. They have a really good, I don't know, it's like 5 or 10 minute video that is phenomenal.
Yeah. I agree 100%. That should be that's the first place that I send to. Second, I would say follow our NGA on Instagram, constantly doing quizzes, fantastic way to be doing it. There's a guy named Ed. His name, he's on Instagram too, Mountain Addictions. He's posting videos, photos all the time of mountain goats. He's a mountain goat guy. He's awesome. Where you get close-ups of trail cams, different things, those are awesome. There's a whole bunch of other guys, but I would say that video by RMGA is pretty vital.
Yeah. Yeah. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully you caught all that.
Yeah. Got it.
And yeah, I think guys need to not be so worried about just reaching out and asking for help and talking to guys who are a bit more experienced too. I think one of the things that I've been hearing a lot in different spaces within hunting too is like, for example, I listened to the Mindful Hunter podcast with Caster the other day when they were talking about sheep hunting, and the conversation and the topic came up. That, guides get frustrated when residents are taking 6 and 7-year-old rams out of their concessions, but guides don't want to put in the time to help those residents out and help them learn, where I think now that is kind of changing. And I think people should be more open to, if you know someone who's a guide, whether it's sheep or goats, especially goats, shooting them a message and asking what they look for when they're in the field. Because anyone who's spent any time out there, hunted them or guides them would much rather help you out and make sure you're taking a billy than tell you where to go and you go out and take a nanny. I'll tell you that much for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually in Jeff, I'm not sure, but how many goat guides do we have in this survey? I know there's obviously one for sure.
There's a couple in there.
Like, here's a perfect indication. Here we are putting a survey on, and these guys are doing their part as well, and they're coming down and from these different spots and helping out with the count and doing their part, they say. And this is like the prime perfect example where you can have a face-to-face conversation with a guide. To be able to get these different understandings, have these questions. These guys are coming down to help, and they want to be able to portray that. And it's nice. Like I feel there is a different, change in that, like Jeff was saying, to be able to educate more. So that way it's beneficial to the herd, beneficial to the hunter, beneficial in all factors. It's a win-win, right? So next survey, it would be wicked to have a couple more guys, because there's some wicked opportunities for not just the average hunter, but for pretty much a guide as well, to be able to indicate to these and educate these guys that are passionate about these things, right? So,
yeah. What is the goal here? I know people have asked me quite a few times, like, oh, are you guys doing a count so we could open up a hunt eventually? And I don't think that's really the plan, is it? Sort of the plan is just to get an idea of what's going on in that area, right?
Yeah, I mean, it all stemmed from wanting to do some citizen science and bring some RMGA stuff up into BC. With this area specifically, it's mainly trying to figure out why the decline over the last couple decades, and from there, what we can do about it. There's going to be further work done in this area. There's some big news that RMGA is going to be dropping, I would assume, pretty quick here. For some further work in this area. I don't know if I can touch on it too much yet. I think I'm going to let them
do it.
No, I'm going to hold off and let them. I mean, they've been great and working with biologists, and the biologists had some requests, and RMGA stepped up. So when they announce that, they'll announce it, but it's just going to further any work in the area too. So, I mean, the goal is to figure out why these goats are in decline and what we can do to turn that around.
Awesome. Yeah, they're so cool. They're such cool critters, man. They're so fun to watch every time you see them. I mean, I've said it on here a million times. Whenever you see them, it completely derails whatever you're doing. Your deer hunt or your bear hunt turns into a goat watching outing. But no, I think it's cool that a lot of folks are getting out there, and we're all going to do our part. And this goes back to that message that, hunters care. It's not just about killing stuff. It's about taking care of wild things and wild places a lot too.
Exactly.
We can't hunt without wild things and wild places. So
it's the truth, man.
Keeping things in check is a good thing.
I know Grizzly's on the same page as me. I don't know. Me and you have never had this conversation, Jeff, but like, I like going out in the off season as much as I like going out in season and just watching stuff. Like I just love seeing know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, you're talking to someone who dedicates half their year to watching.
I know, right? Like, it was funny. Me and my, I don't know. Yeah, I have so many of those stories where you go in the off season, just hang out and watch stuff and see what they're doing, get to know them,
For sure. So
I don't think a certain animal species just by seeing them for all of 3 months out of the year. I think there's so much to learn outside of that. So a lot of that, yeah. I treat it as like, man, I need a workout to make sure I can still haul gear up and things like that too. But like, that's just the benefit to it. The bonus would be if I see something and it's just as good, especially when you see those interactions on a herd animal. like a goat or a sheep, like that's pretty beneficial to be able to see that in the off season as well. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So should we, so people that want to get involved that are just hearing this now for the first time, it's too late, right?
Yeah.
Everything's organized.
Hit up Tyler on locals fucking Instagram and hang out for the camping or something. He'll send you the coordinates, but
yeah, please go for it. I'm happy to direct everybody into Jeff's tent. He will be doing a QU fitting in the bush there. He'll have a cube van full of gear.
Yeah, you bet.
But I mean, I think the way that guys could help if they're not signed up on this already is go to goalliance.org, sign up, join that. They're doing stuff for us up here in BC, and we greatly appreciate it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they're coming more up into BC, and they've got more plans for it. So, I mean, they can only do so much, and they need the support from us. So, it's what, $45-50 a year for a membership.
Let me look. It is. I think it's only 35. I think it's $35 US. I want to say.
Yeah. So 40, 45.
That's a month of coffee.
Dude.
Yeah.
I think I've drank that much coffee this morning to stay awake with you folks.
Oh, I am never, ever signing up for a 5 a.m. podcast again.
Look at Grizz. Grizz is like worked out, gone for a run. He's at work already.
No workout, but I'm at work. Yeah.
Jeff's all tucked in. He's got blankets up to his neck.
Pretty close. It's down around my waist.
He actually is. That's amazing.
Rolled out of bed and I walked over to my couch and sat on my couch and fired up the phone.
Nice. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Any other thoughts, boys, that we need to tell folks for this thing?
One thing maybe guys should know, we are going to be filming it all. We've got 3 cameramen. It's going to be Nick Thielman from Far Gone Media, Connor Gabbett, Talus Creative, and Jesse Bone's going to be rolling with me from Filter Studios. So, if anyone isn't comfortable with being on camera, there was a note in the waiver, but make sure you just reach out to us or let us know, like, hey, I don't want to be on camera. But otherwise, we're going to be hopefully doing some interviews with some guys. We're going to be, myself and Jesse, we don't have our own set area. I'm going to be trying to bomb around to go and visit dudes.
Nice.
And maybe try and get some interviews done Saturday and Sunday, hopefully with some people. And yeah, we're going to do a short citizen science short video.
Excellent. That's very cool. Right on, guys. Well, hey, I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I think everybody else appreciates what you guys are doing very much. It's been very cool to watch 2 of my friends take the goat by the horns and get this organized and get it rocking and get RMGA on board. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see this going on right in my backyard, quite literally.
Yeah, it's going to be a cool event. Hopefully the first of many, and we can just keep rocking and rolling with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty amped for it. I think it's going to be pretty beneficial factor. So,
absolutely,
that's awesome.
People are gonna be sweating, man. It's gonna be killer out there.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that the deer all bed down in the thick stuff, and nobody's like glassing up 160-inch blacktail up there.
They're 160 inches in June. Jesus, I'm not leaving that area.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. I got some pretty good deer on camera back there.
That's for sure.
Just sweating. I'm going to be just yelling, just blowing everything out of there on the way up. This is sure a nice hike.
You're that recreational user we're talking about.
Dude, just office pop steady.
That's funny.
No, so good. Cool. Okay, boys, have a great day. Jeff, get your pajamas off, have another coffee.
Hey, you like the t-shirt. I'm not wearing pajamas. This is your favorite t-shirt.
That's a good shirt, man. Grizz, thanks for fitting us into your busy schedule this morning. You're going for another workout and maybe another meal or something?
Oh yeah, you know how it works. I just got another go. I got already like one full 2 liters of yerba in me. I'm ready to go like tomorrow.
You are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Me and Jeff been like rubbing sleep out of our eyes. We're yawning. I'm like not even through my first coffee yet.
Yeah, I'm a bulldozer when it comes to getting up and going. So it's full steam ahead, man.
You even drink coffee in the morning, Grizz?
Sorry?
You even drink coffee in the morning?
No, I'm straight yerba, man. I'm the sweet honey nut kid. So it's like a loose leaf tea, and then you just add water, so you're in a little cup, kind of. It's beautiful. So I've already gone for 2 liters, so like I probably got to take a piss like a racehorse now.
They sell that stuff in the grocery store now, in the health food aisle in a can.
Dude, all the hippies are loving this shit.
Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know, man, but yeah, I know it's hilarious that it's in a can now. But I'm getting it from the true sources of like the old Mennonite stores that brought them up from South America.
That's awesome. Yeah, me and Chatty are out elk hunting, and you bring what's the cup with the straw called?
The cup is a guampa, and then the straw is called a bombilia.
Okay, I can't say any of that, but Chad busts that out of his pack when we're in the middle of the elk backcountry. I'm like, dude, did you pack that all the way in here? He's like, oh yeah, bud.
That's fun.
Freaking guys.
Back trip with me, you can expect that sucker's coming out for sure.
Oh, he was having fun. We were sitting on glass for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, man.
Cool, boys. Okay, well, we'll see you. I'll probably come see you guys tomorrow night. I'm not going to camp. I live right here, but we will see you guys over the weekend, and hopefully we see a lot of goats too.
Sounds good.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks, Chance. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sleep for 20 more minutes.
Right on.
Later.
All right, boys. See you later.
Bye.
Later.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and leave us a review. If you want to support the podcast, please check out the gear on our website at wildernesslocals.net.